Greatest NBA plays of all time. As a huge basketball fan, I often find myself compiling all the best plays of any NBA season and rewatching them over and over again. I certainly can't be the only one who does this. I'm sure almost everyone watching this video right now practices this habit. Well, if you think watching the greatest plays of the season was fun, just imagine what it would feel like watching the greatest NBA plays of all time. In today's video, you certainly don't have to imagine because that's exactly what we will be talking about. Before we get the ball rolling, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from us. Now, without further ado, here are the greatest NBA plays of all time. Michael Jordan scores 6 three-pointers in a game. Who better to start our list for today than the supposed greatest NBA player of all time, Michael Jordan? Back when Jordan was at the top of his game, he was feared by almost every player in the league, and almost every play he was involved in was special. One of such plays was the display he put on in the 1991-92 NBA Finals for the Chicago Bulls against the Portland Trail Blazers. During that final, Jordan dropped a masterclass performance, hitting an NBA record 6 three-point field goals. And he didn't stop there. He also set a record for the most points scored in one half, 35. After scoring the 6th three-pointer, Michael Jordan celebrated by looking over to the scorer's table and simply shrugging his shoulders. Both the play and celebration are forever etched in everyone's memory to this day. Larry Bird makes atonement for his mistake. Imagine having your game-winning shot blocked some seconds to the end of the match. The only thought that would be going through your mind would be, game over, right? Well, Larry Bird didn't share that thought. During Game 5 of the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals, the Boston Celtics were losing to the Detroit Pistons. Larry then had a layup attempt blocked at the rim. With just 5 seconds left on the watch and the Celtics down by 1 point, the Pistons owned the ball. Bouncing back from his previous miss, Larry Bird steals the ball back from one of the Pistons players and made a pass to Dennis Johnson, who ended up making the game-winning layup with just 1 second left on the board. Jerry West proves he is worthy of the logo. Going way back to Game 3 of the 1970 NBA Finals, Jerry West's Los Angeles Lakers were up against the New York Knicks. With just 5 seconds left on the clock, Dave DeBusschere scored what he thought was the game-winning point. Well, Jerry West had other ideas. The clock was ticking away and the Lakers were down by 2 points. Jerry would have none of it, as he received the ball near his foul line before making a dribble behind the half court and making a jumper. As at that time, the three-point line was not instituted, so the Lakers had to just settle for 2 points. The 2 points were enough to help the Lakers tie the game and take them into overtime. Because of Jerry's last-minute save, the Lakers would go on to win the match in overtime. Michael Jordan cements his name with the city of Cleveland. You didn't think it was a joke when we said Michael Jordan might just be the greatest basketball player of all time, did you? MJ again makes our list for today, this time playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers. During the 1989 NBA Finals, the Cleveland Cavaliers were up against Jordan's Chicago Bulls, and they were down 101-100. With just 3 seconds remaining and the series slipping away from them, Jordan steps up to the stage and dribbles to the free throw line. While all this is going on, Craig Elo of the Cleveland Cavaliers was putting pressure on Michael Jordan. But MJ still managed to take the shot over Elo to win the game for the Chicago Bulls in a 102-101 victory. If you ask many basketball fans today, they would argue that this was Michael Jordan's greatest NBA play ever. John Havlicek steals the ball. Who else would have thought that a ball steal would make the list for one of the greatest NBA plays of all time? Well, it did. In Game 7 of the 1965 Eastern Conference Finals, the Boston Celtics were up against the Philadelphia 76ers. During the match, the Boston Celtics blew a big lead, and it looked set that the 76ers were on their way to victory as Hal Greer was inbounding the ball from under the basket. Hal Greer was trying to find Chamberlain, who was trying to look for space, but he was marshaled by Bill Russell. Hal then turned his attention to Chet Walker, who appeared to be free. Little did he know, John Havlicek was already anticipating the pass. John ended up deflecting the pass to Sam Jones, who then dribbled down court and gave the Celtics the conference finals victory. Larry Bird makes atonement for his mistake again. Next on our list, we have Larry Bird, who again makes atonement for a mistake he caused. Although he is one of the best jump shooters in the history of the league, and also one of the only two players in NBA history to win 3 consecutive MVP awards, Larry is still human and not above mistakes. Even though he is known to be a very deadly shooter, Larry missed a jump shot on this occasion. But instead of him standing around and feeling sorry for himself, he predicted the flight of the ball and dashed the rim. Larry ended up grabbing the rebound of his missed jump shot with his right hand, and he quickly switched to his left while falling out of bounds and laid it in. Talk about saving your skin. Michael Jordan takes the final shot. Just by hearing the heading of this clip, we can all conclude that Michael Jordan saved the day. During Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Final, the Chicago Bulls squared off against the Utah Jazz. As the game drew closer to its end, the Jazz were in the lead 86-85. Then Michael Jordan stole the ball from Karl Malone in an attempt to give the Bulls one more chance at winning the game. As MJ made a beeline for the Jazz's net, he was met by a very determined Brian Russell at the three-point line. Jordan drove outside of the foul line, and with enough space to cause damage, he made the shot for the game winner. With MJ's last shot, the Chicago Bulls were able to win the match 87-86. Tracy McGrady's magical 35 seconds. Imagine having the best 35 seconds of your playing career. Well, that's exactly what Tracy McGrady experienced. During a game between the San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets, the Spurs were up by double digits with just over 30 seconds left in the game. Almost everybody present at the game acknowledged the Spurs to be the winner. However, Tracy McGrady would have the final say. McGrady started the comeback by first scoring a three-pointer. He then followed up by hitting another three-pointer and then another. McGrady was a man on a mission, and with the game points at 82-80, he pulled a rabbit out of the hat by scoring another three-pointer to win the game for the Rockets. To this day, nobody could believe how Tracy McGrady managed to score 13 points within 35 seconds. Magic Johnson lives up to his name. If by some miracle Michael Jordan was not considered the greatest basketball player of all time, then next in line would be Magic Johnson. Johnson had some pretty amazing plays in his days, but none as special as the one he had in the 1987 NBA Finals. During Game 4 of the final, the Lakers were up against the Boston Celtics, and it was a do-or-die affair. The Lakers had the chance to take the final to a 3-1 lead, while the Celtics had the chance to send the final into a 2-2 tie going into Game 5. With only 5 seconds left in the game, Johnson was given the chance to win the game in favor of the Lakers. He stepped up to the occasion and shot a skyhook over the outstretched hands of Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. The shot earned the Lakers victory, and they saw the game out 107-106. Michael Jordan does the impossible. Unsurprisingly, Michael Jordan appears again on our list today. If there was anyone capable of doing the impossible, then it would be MJ. During the 1991 NBA Finals matchup between the Chicago Bulls and Los Angeles Lakers, Jordan was given the space to hit a spectacular dunk, but instead, he switched the ball in mid-air and finished an amazing layup. With that, we have come to the end of today's video. Which one of these NBA plays did you most enjoy? Let us know in the comments section below. We'll see you in the next video.